What's going on, people? It's DJ Mainstream, the voice of the voiceless. John Ari Caul for the government. And now you're rocking with SWIS.visuals TV. And of course, Yano at Yano's World. Let's go.
Should have known how hard we work for this. Jamaica to Hollywood. Jamaica to Hollywood. So my haters are
Basically, we here, S.W.I.S.visuals. You know what I'm saying? We're doing a first edition of Yano's World.
Yes, sir.
I'm the host, YB Yano.
Yes, sir.
Today we got a special guest, man.
I ain't that special. Don't drag it.
It's my brother, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't that special.
We done been through a lot together.
We
You know
have.
what I'm saying? A lot. But today we not here to talk about it.
Nah.
We're here to talk about this man right here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Ah, man. Introductions. All right. DJ Mainstream, voice of the voiceless.
Mm-hmm.
John Ari Caul for the government. Owner of Voiceless Music. Owner of Voiceless Music Network. And, I'll be around, man. I'll be around. I'll be around good music, good people.
Okay.
And that's the type of vibe I want to stick around. Especially now that I'm coming back out, I guess.
Okay.
You know.
So, for the people who don't know,
Mm-hmm.
who is DJ Mainstream? Like, what got you started in this whole music
Lord.
scene?
Lord.
Talk to me.
Man, this wonderful world of the independent music scene. It's your fault.
It's my fault.
Let the world know, whoever sees this and watches this at home, I don't care where you're watching this at, the reason I am who I am is because of this man sitting next to me.
Hey, I can't take the credit.
Nah, you gotta take a good amount of that credit because, you know what? I'll keep it as simple as this. Everybody, when we're kids in high school, they're like, you can go to college and figure out what you want to do with your life. And I'm like, I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a lawyer. I didn't want to, like my stepdad was a cop. I didn't want to be a cop. I'm not gonna disrespect on your joint. I could easily say, but I was like, no, there's got to be other options. And I've always been around music, always been around music in some shape or form or fashion. Like I did street team work for Tony Sunshine years ago, and I'm talking about when I was like 14, 15, living in the South Bronx. And I guess that little bit of taste of being around, not even industry, just being around people who came out to see one person who you heard on like Hot 97 earlier today, I gravitated to that. I don't know, there was something different about that energy of people coming out for this one person. But it kind of morphed in when we met, knowing where you were in music, knowing you were a dope artist. I'm like, so is nobody going to step up and be like, yeah, let me help you out? Oh, fuck it, I'm not doing nothing. So
Hey,
let's do it together, bro.
I wasn't a dope artist at that time.
Humble.
You know what I'm saying?
He's humble.
For real. Like, when I listen back to certain tracks, I'm like, okay. What were you doing there, my boy?
So you had to second guess, what am I doing?
Yeah, but we got past it.
Nah.
We definitely got past it.
Nah, we had some amazing moments in studios, in like radio stations. I would never forget. The moment that really hit me was like, all right, I think I'm doing something here. So I decided that if he wasn't going to get on blogs, I'll create a blog and post him on it, and then get other artists surrounded him. So this way it was, I don't know, I was ahead of my time marketing wise, but I figured the more music he cranks out, the more other artists I can bring around him on this blog. So it's not just like Ciano and everything, but Ciano and this other dope artist. Remember Hannah? Mm-hmm. So there's another artist. Oh man, shit!
I was listening to Live from the Studio the other day. I was like,
what?
Bro.
Man, Airplay. That was my favorite song that he did.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
I had to write to get on that song.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, I remember that, bro. Look at humble beginnings, man. I'll never forget the first time I was really getting your music out there. And do you remember the radio station in the United Kingdom? The first time you got airplay in Europe for 5 a.m. in the north?
Yeah, that was dope. That was crazy.
They tweeted it out, and they had him in rotation for maybe a good month or two. And from that, other blogs over there was featuring him. And I was like, oh shit, I know what I'm doing. Maybe I could turn this into something. And man, I that's all I ever wanted to do. I just wanted to be a part of the music industry in some shape, form, or fashion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, I respect that. I respect that.
I wanted to put people on, man.
I know you had this, I don't want to skip ahead,
I know.
but I know you had this radio era.
Yeah.
Voiceless Music Radio. How did that get started?
Voiceless Music Radio, man, it was a time I will never forget. It was like April or May. We had just got that radio play overseas. Now I'm like, we need something local. And I started hearing more and more about internet radio stations popping up across the city. And I found, like, scrolling on Twitter, when Twitter was still Twitter, I scrolled on Twitter and I found this guy who's saying for airplay, send an email. So in the reply in the email, I guess we're good with saying names, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. So it turns out he ended up being Slim's the Bank of FLO Empire Radio. In his reply, he also put, we're also looking for people interested in doing a radio show. So I'm like, how else can I get Yano out there? Because at that point, I was your manager, basically. Yeah. I was like, how else can I get him out of there? Oh, okay. Maybe I can have him, play his music every fucking week. So that was the plan. That was the plan. That was legit the plan. I was like, I'm going to guerrilla tactic this shit to put my boy on. Like, put my brother on. So if I got to be a blogger, I'll be the blogger who writes all his song reviews. If I can be on radio, he going to be on radio. Yo, you busy this week? Remember it was on Thursday. You busy this Thursday? Nah, eyes, come slide through. Drop your song on the radio. Like, that legit was the thought process. I will do everything in my power to put you on. If Hot 97, Power 105, all of them wasn't going to pay attention, I'd do it myself. I didn't know it was going to turn into what it did, though. Shit. Remember the award shows?
Yeah. Actually, I remember a couple of award shows. That last award show was a doozy.
No. Man.
That last award show was
definitely
a doozy.
Yes, it was. But I had fun, man. I had fun doing a lot of that stuff. Especially with the radio show. I loved interviewing people.
Nah, for real.
I loved interviewing.
It was definitely a time, in our lives where I look back and I'm like, I'm grateful for this. Because it taught me a lot. Like, I never thought I would actually be here interviewing anyone.
I mean...
but we're doing new things.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger and better things.
2024, we gotta do more.
You gotta expand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to do right now. With your help and the help of others, I can get to where I need to get to and help whoever I need to help out there to get to where they need to get to.
You sound like me.
Like we gotta help each other, bro.
You sound like me.
We all gotta help each other. No one man can't do anything by himself.
No.
It's not gonna happen.
We're past that era now where there used to be just one main person and they put their mans on, they mans put their man. Nah, at this point, if we're not operating as a unit, it don't work. And for me, like seeing you doing this is perfect. Now, if I'm getting back into music, artists hit me up. Yo, you know who can do interviews? I got the perfect person for you. Full setup and everything. On camera, you get the audio, the video. I got you. What am I gonna do? Slide them to you. That's how it's supposed to be, man.
Appreciate that. But as we said, it's not about me. You're not here to talk about
Nah, it's not about him. Not about him.
So, We got to DJ Mainstream.
Yeah.
We got to how you got in music.
Yeah.
We got to the Voiceless Music.
Yeah.
Voiceless Music Radio.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you also got a podcast going on. What's going on with that?
I do. Make the Call podcast. The transition that I did from blogger to radio show host to eventually radio station owner happened literally in a span of like 7 years. And I've probably done a lot more in those 7 years and than a lot of people have maybe in a lifetime, if you really put in perspective of the people I was around. But I also experienced a lot of bad that took place, not only in my personal life, but with the station and the podcast, and even down to the radio show. So I figured I obviously like talking, but I also like sharing my experiences. So with the play on my last name, Make the Call is a story about me. But me and how I relate to other people and what they go through.
Okay.
So, like for instance, one episode I just recently did was focusing on fear. One of my biggest things, honestly, if you'd have talked to me a few months ago, I would have told you, no, I don't want to do this. Because I have this weird PTSD about people seeing me again. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the way the station closed down. Maybe it's personal shit I have going on. I just didn't feel like I was ready. Now I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm outside. Let's do this. Let's do this. Ain't no time like the present.
Do you feel like the station closing like affected you in a more positive or a more negative way?
Ooh, that's tough. Damn, he's asking some questions. Honestly, it's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Okay.
Can I run it down?
Yeah.
The bad, like I said, that PTSD always sticks with me because I honestly admit it was a very big failure that I saw for a while. Now I don't see it that way, but for a while it stuck with me like it was. And I started testing my mental a lot because it fell, because of so much bad that came from it. But the positive from it, oh man, the positives. I've gotten cool with Mickey Fax. Shout out to Mickey Fax. Who I literally had in the station, if you remember, the XXL cover of his freshman year. And then because of the station, I actually was able to book him to perform for people at Blackthorn in Queens. Like, of course I had help, but like that's something. Like, that's somebody who I booked with hard-earned money and work and all that to be on that stage, and now fast forward years later, I'm still good friends with him. I have that man's personal cell phone number. That's not something you're just getting from anybody, you know. That's the shit that sticks with me. That I always think about. Like
those relationships.
The relationships, man. I built a lot of good relationships with the stars and independent people, and irreplaceable, man. You can't take back what I've gained from WVMR and positives. You can't. I gained a lot. I got a lot.
I respect that answer.
Yeah.
For real. But as far as everything else that we've spoken about so far, I know we didn't touch on fully. We only touched on like one person.
Okay.
But as far as like your management resume goes, because they were artists before me. You know, I came in after.
Yeah.
Who drove?
Yeah. I've managed 7 artists, I think, in total.
Okay.
And the one thing I realized about being a manager is you have to really become the person that you're managing in some shape, form, and fashion to understand who career you're in charge of. Like, I knew top to bottom when it came to you because we had a different type of chemistry. I understood you, but I thought I could replicate that with so many other artists, and man, was it tough. It was lessons learned. But yeah, Dramatic, Hannah Fred, Miko Sky.
I did not know you managed Miko.
I managed Miko Sky under my Voiceless Music Entertainment imprint label I did.
That's wild.
He used that. We used that connection that we had from the radio station. I managed him for a year. He said I did an okay job, but I could have did better. But I had other personal shit I was dealing with as well, which it always ends up being the issue. But he literally said this, exactly what, like you used to say, it's like, bro, you got it. Just focus. But after him, and of course, I managed Suhaiti. I also managed, there's one other person. I'm forgetting somebody.
How do you get Star Qualified?
I managed Star Qualified. Holy shit. They're going to kill me when they see this. They're going to kill me. Shout out to KB Major and Princely, man. You know the one thing I loved about managing One thing I loved about managing Star Qualified is realizing, forget managing one personality. I had to manage two at the same time. I managed two at the same time.
Completely different personalities.
They are, and I think I love that though. That's the one thing I love. Was when I talked to him, it was like talking to two different people, but they had the same vision, and that was dope. They had the same damn vision, but man, managing artists is not easy. It's not. You got to take yourself out of it, and sometimes I just didn't take myself out of it. And you know, you guys paid for it, and it sucks because I kind of live with that. Because there's so much we could have done. Imperious Records, good lord, man.
That's what I was about to get into next.
Oh, go ahead, ask the question. Oh my god,
right, so we've gone down so many different accolades that you've accomplished, and now we get to the point of the record label.
Oh man.
What was the record label called?
Imperious Records. In Imperious we trust. Man, the idea I had was when I was coming up, I loved, everybody knew Def Jam Records and all the big names, but nah, I focused on the micro labels. I was a fan of Rockefeller. I was a fan of the Rough Riders. I was a fan of So Def. Those are the eras that I'm like, between the clothing, how everybody kind of fit with one another depending on what label they were a part of. The aesthetic all fit because all the artists worked with one another. And then the chains, man, to this day I still wanted the Imperious chain.
Personal chain.
I love that. That was it made it feel like a real team. And I wanted to replicate that in some form. So I already figured, you know, you, Sue, Star Qualified, with Motive kind of being on the outside looking in, but someone I still helped and worked with because of his association with Star Qualified. I was like, nah, this is the team. Plus throwing me DJing here and there, Mastermind DJing here and there, I feel like that was going to take off, man. I really did. The connections we had with still Voiceless Music existing. Gotten to work with Sean Rock out in Jersey. That was like that label. I wanted to set that label up with success because I've mimicked literally everything from before, and that was the problem. There was no individuality. It was understanding that I was literally trying to do my own Rockefeller Records. I tell me if I'm wrong. I operated like we were Rockefeller Records. We literally took over a showcase and had people yelling out "Bang Bang Imperious Gang" because we were so fucking petty, man. Wow. We were so petty about it, but I didn't care. That's how I was raised. Like we plant your flag. We didn't care what nobody said, man.
We were young.
We were.
In those days, I was I was down for whatever. Right?
A lot of us were.
That's just how it was.
Yo.
You know, being from Queens just
it's different. It's different. Let them know from Queens. It's different over here.
Especially
man.
me being Jamaican, like it's a different thing as well.
That too.
It's like you always gotta be that, you know.
Different energy.
But as far as everything that you've done so far over the years, what would you say is like your biggest accomplishment within the independent music scene?
Oh man. Wow, that's a great question. Damn, that's a great question. Don't take it as a cop-out. Over the years, doing the radio show, radio station, the showcases, the events, being able to now, to this day, years later, and people start hitting me up and say, stop acting like that. Like, stop feeling like you haven't done shit. You're DJ Mainstream. You did this. My greatest accomplishment is leaving behind a legacy. It's not the fact that I did it. It's the fact that I did it and people still remember it. I'm not forgotten. I'm not, what they say, like a flash in the pan. 1 year, someone ran showcases and did events in New York and they just poof disappeared. Nah, I had staying power, man. Them award shows 4 years straight. I had people literally calling up the radio station, being mad for not being nominated. We had freestyles of people dissing each other. You remember that? We had
something else.
We had BET Award style Source Award freestyles of two different crews battling one another, because I just wanted crews who got nominated for what was it called, Squad of the Year, and I wanted each squad to do a freestyle. So fuck it.
It wasn't that deep though.
It wasn't deep, but it was just like niggas is dissing each other. But for me, the fact that I can remember it and everybody who was a part of that can remember it, greatest accomplishment, bro.
Yeah, we definitely got a moment in time, especially on the independent scene. We definitely got a moment in time.
I got death threats, bro. Yeah. I got people can't call to the station like, DJ Mainstream, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Yeah. Why? Because my man's got nominated. I know you don't fuck with him, so yeah, that's why. For an award show, bro. Man, I lived life.
And it's crazy because
I lived life.
The crazy thing about that a lot of people don't even know is that a lot of it was coming towards me. Yeah. Majority. Yeah. So my whole team was like, everybody said something defended me. Because I said a line and like niggas took it out of context.
Way out of context.
You feel me? And it's like the person who would have had anything to do with that line, like he knew what it was. Yeah. You feel me?
He respected
like,
it.
Behind the scenes, me and bro was talking about it, like laughing, like, bro, like, you see this shit? This shit played out on Facebook. I'm like, you see this, bro? Like, and he's like, bro, like, I know, like, I get it.
Marketing 101.
Like, yo, like, we're cooler, and it's crazy because me and him are like mad cool as to this day on a different level. Yeah. You know, I've done a lot of things between him and his team, so we're good. You know, but as far as those accomplishments, like, what do you see yourself doing within the next 2 to 5 years? What's new for DJ Mainstream? Let's get into that. What do we got going on right now?
So when this drops, I haven't made the announcement yet, but I'm going to be working with a very major party brand here in New York.
Yeah, don't tell them too much.
Don't tell them too much. But
a little bit.
Yeah, but that's going to be big because I'm going to continue doing what I started out doing. Is taking opportunities for artists to get into places they normally won't get into, and I want to be the person to get them into it.
Okay.
but that's the short term. Building that up over the next 2 years with that brand. Man, honestly, the sky's not the limit. I want to be able to bring back the feeling of how we had it from before with the radio shows, where people will come to a space, record, have that same feeling that, was created when we used to watch on Hot 97, Power 105, the freestyles. I want that back. I feel like that essence of music, not just music overall, I mean talking about the industry itself. Nah, bro, we get that back, the industry will at least have some type of it will restore the feeling. That's how I want to say it.
Okay.
It will restore the feeling. I want to bring back Voiceless Music Network with the radio aspect to it. Not WVMR, Voiceless Music. It has to be Voiceless Music. It's freaking tattooed on me. I can't get rid of this. Ever.
And so that's your plan for the next 2 to 5 years.
Yeah. When y'all see that announcement, y'all better hit up. It's admin, ADMIN at voicesmusic.com. That email I've had that email for 15 years. It will never change. There's work coming. Y'all want something to do? I got y'all.
Hey, so y'all seen and y'all heard personally from the man himself, DJ Mainstream. Talk to the people, man. Where can they find you? Where can they find your podcast? Where can they find what you got coming up? Talk to them.
All right, I got so the podcast is the same as my Instagram and Twitter. It's at Make the Call, so make the CAUL. But I always say don't follow me. I'm not that interesting. At Voiceless Music everywhere. Voicemusic.com is the website. Voicelessmusicnetwork.com is the website. At the VM Network on all social media. My focus is making sure, again, artists, photographers, videographers get a platform. I have a platform that they can submit their stuff to and not feel like they get beat in the head for money, and that they get posted, but also work with other dope people too. Like, it's not just me with the network. Can I do shout outs real quick?
Yeah.
Shout out to Audrey, Empress Audrey, The World According to Audrey. She has a podcast on the network. Shout out to Coach James Champagne. He served our country, came home, and started teaching these kids other ways to apply their time by being on the football field, and how the importance of athletics and how, being grounded and staying mentally is good. That's what his podcast, Change Starts With You, is about. Shout out to my DJ, G the Prince. He has All Eyes on G. Live show on the network for an hour from 12 to 1. All new music every week. Yeah, man, my focus is on bringing that. I want to restore the feeling. I said on my last podcast, I'll give you something for your people. I said on my very last podcast I just recorded last week, Make the Call. It's every Friday. It drops all streaming platforms. I want to retire. I've been trying to retire for about 10 years now. I can't. Something just keeps calling me to this business. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. It keeps calling me. I don't know why. I will stop doing this for one moment. An artist will hit me up, and 5 different people of what this artist, he or she needs, will pop up on my timeline and say, "Hey John, how you doing? I just want to see if you're good." Yeah, I'm good. I actually want to link you with this guy. He's looking for someone like you. It's just, it happens so natural. I can't get out of it. So y'all stuck with me. Sure you like that? Y'all stuck with me.
Hey, y'all heard it here first, man. So, this is episode 1 of Yano's World.
Just shout out to Yano, bro.
S.W.I.S.visuals.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to S.W.I.S. Yeah, man. Thank you for being here.
Nah, bro. Thank you. It's a long time coming. Honestly, this is... Damn. How many years in the making? I interviewed you almost...
Over 10 years
Almost
ago?
10 years ago. Nah.
That wasn't over 10 years ago?
It has to be over 10 years ago. When I find that picture, I'm going to send it to you. Put it at the end of the video. That would be fire. That means we got to take a picture now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
gonna do that.
we gonna do that. That's off camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. S.W.I.S.visuals. See what I see. It's your boy Wapi Yano, and this has been the first edition of Yano's World. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all.